Who'd like to play this? Politics.
Politics. Who wants to do politics?
Want to take the politics?
I think you're the politics man.
That's me, then.
OK, John at the end. John, which egghead would you like to play?
CJ.
Yeah, CJ.
OK, we'll go CJ.
OK, John H is going to play CJ. It's politics. Could I ask you, please, to make your way into the question room? John, let's see if you can recycle CJ and leave him in the question room so he can't play in the final round. Would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first, I think.
OK, John, it's politics. Good luck. Which object always sits on the table in the front of the Speaker in the British House of Commons when Parliament is in session? A broadsword, a suit of armour or a mace?
Right, well, it's not a suit of armour. It's not the broadswords, and I believe the mace is used at the opening of Parliament, so I'll go for mace.
Mace is correct, John. A good start. What's famously used by a politician, wasn't it? Picked up.
Yeah, picked it up and brandished it, yeah.
OK, CJ, your first question. In UK parliamentary terms, a three-line whip indicates that an MP should be present for what? An important vote, a party meeting or PM's question time?
That's for an important vote.
Three-line whip. An important vote, it's the right answer, CJ. Back to you then, John, for your second question. In September 2007, which actor announced that he would be running for the US presidency? Fred Dalton Thompson, John Lithgow or Martin Sheen?
I don't know who Fred Dalton Thompson is, but that doesn't mean it isn't him. John Lithgow I've heard of, but I'm not sure what his interests in politics are. Martin Sheen, I'm fairly sure is politically active, so I'll have to go for Martin Sheen.
OK. And, of course, plays the president in the West Wing. It's not, though, Martin Sheen. He didn't turn those screen ambitions as yet into political ambitions. It's Fred Dalton Thompson. Fred Dalton Thompson. OK, so a slip there from John. CJ, Jose Manuel Barroso, who became the head of the European Commission in 2004, is the former Prime Minister of which country? Italy, Spain or Portugal?
I think he's the former Prime Minister of Spain.
No, it's Portugal. It's Portugal. Jose Manuel Barroso, former Prime Minister of Portugal. So, nothing there for either of you on your second questions. John, third question. Which university refused to give an honorary degree to Margaret Thatcher in 1985 in protest against the government's cuts in funding for education? Is it Reading, Oxford or Durham?
Well, I can well imagine it being any of them. Oxford would seem to be the obvious choice. I've got a feeling somewhere in the back of my mind that it's actually Reading, so I'll go for Reading.
OK, an honorary degree refused to Margaret Thatcher by... It is Oxford. It's Oxford, the one you were considering there, not Reading. So a chance for CJ to win the round. CJ, in 2007, Ken Livingstone announced an oil deal with which country to provide cheap fuel for London's buses? Venezuela, Saudi Arabia or Russia?
Don't actually know the story, but he was certainly in Venezuela, wasn't he? Caused quite a few protests meeting the president, but I think that's the most likely, so I'll go for Venezuela.
Ken Livingstone announced an oil deal with Venezuela in 2007. It's the right answer, CJ. You're through to the final round. John, and I'm afraid you're not. Would you both please come back and join your teams? First blow to the Eggheads then. John out of the final round. Our next head-to-head today is entertainment. Anyone fancy this? Entertainment?
That would be you, Tony. We discussed you.
Yeah. That was sport, but yeah, OK, I'll go for that.
Going to be you then, Tony. OK, which Egghead would you like to play? It can't be CJ because he's just played, of course.
Judith isn't particularly strong with entertainment.
No, but I think probably Chris would be...
Or Chris?
I'll go for Chris. What do you think?
He had the list, didn't he?
Yes, he had the strategy list.
We'll go for Chris.
OK, Tony and Chris then to play entertainment. Could I ask you both please to go into the question room? So, Tony, how big is the free cycle group you're in?
I think it's about 1,500 people.
Wow. And is there any overlap? I mean, if you see, you know, something, well, let's say even in Aberdeenshire where Carol is, can you access those free cycle groups?
Yeah, you can. You can subscribe to as many as you want, but it's not advisable because you get 1,000 emails a day. So keep it local.
Keep it local.
It's a community thing.
I suppose it also cuts down on the delivery and the carbon emissions involved in all that. OK, Tony, would you like to go first or second?
I think I'd like to go first.
Good luck, Tony. It's entertainment. This is your question, then. Which British star of stage and screen often used the catchphrase, "Stop messing about"? Kenneth Williams, Sid James or Terry Thomas?
I'm not sure about this. I think I'm going to go for Kenneth Williams.
Stop messing about. Kenneth Williams, you think? We've got a sometime impressionist sitting beside you in the question room there. Chris, can you do your Kenneth Williams, Chris?
No, stop messing about.
Not bad, but better than I could do. It is the right answer, yes, well done. OK, Chris, the TV show Hollyoaks is set in a fictional suburb of which British city? Oxford, Brighton or Chester?
Well, it tries to be northern and gritty and just misses it. It's Chester.
Chester, it's the right answer, well done. OK, here we go. Second question for you, Tony. With whom did Johnny Marr form a successful songwriting partnership in the 1980s? Boy George, Morrissey or George Michael?
Well, it wasn't George Michael or Boy George. It was Stephen Patrick Morrissey.
Oh,
The Smiths.
OK, know that very well. Yes, Morrissey is correct. Well done, Tony. John Marr and Morrissey. OK, Chris, which city council announced in 2007 that it would be raising £100,000 to build a statue of Wallace and Gromit? Preston, Stoke-on-Trent or Grimsby?
Well, it's not Grimsby because there's no connection there. It could be Stoke, it could be Preston. Wallace, as voiced by Peter Sallis, has got a Lancashire accent, so I would go for Preston. Plus, Preston is the name of the robot dog in A Close Shave, so we'll go with Preston.
So you're picking up on the clues there in the films you've seen, and maybe that is because Nick Park, the creator, of course, of Wallace and Gromit, is from Preston. It's the right answer. OK, 2 each, high-quality round. Tony, this might win it for you if you get it correct. I've never seen it. By all accounts, it's terrible, but I've seen the house it built, and it's terrific. Is Michael Caine's verdict on which film? Jaws, The Revenge, Escape to Victory, or The Swarm?
Yeah, I'm going to go for The Swarm.
The Swarm. I've never seen it. By all accounts, it's terrible, but I've seen the house it built, and it's terrific. Is Michael Caine's verdict on Jaws, The Revenge? Jaws, The Revenge. Yes, he has made quite a few, let's say, not great films in his career. Michael Caine been oft criticised for it, that he was taking it on the chin and saying, count the money. Jaws, The Revenge. OK, Chris, you've got a chance to win it then if you get this. Which Hollywood star married long-term girlfriend Jennifer Mayer in 2007? Matt Damon, Tobey Maguire or Elijah Wood?
Well, as you know, you couldn't force me to read the Society columns or gossip magazines or anything like that. Elijah Wood, he's a hobbit, surely. Tobey Maguire, I can't call to mind at all, so we'll go for Matt Damon.
It's the wrong answer.
Oh.
It is Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire married Jennifer Mayer in 2007, which is a let-off for you, Tony, and takes us into sudden death, which means, just to remind you, we don't give you any more choices, just got to hear an answer from you. Can you tell me this then, Tony? The UK hit single It Must Have Been Love by Roxette featured on the soundtrack to which 1990 film?
1990 film.
Yeah, 1990, It Must Have Been Love by Roxette.
I think it has to be an American film. I'm going to take a guess. Porky's.
OK, Porky's. It's not Porky's, Tony. It's Pretty Woman. Pretty Woman, It Must Have Been Love. Kind of fits when you hear it, doesn't it? OK, a chance for Chris again. Chris, Mr. Rodney, Mr. Derek and Mr. Roy were human sidekicks of which puppet on TV?
Now, this is one voice I can't do, and I'm not going to even attempt. It's Basil Brush.
Basil Brush is correct, Chris. You're through to the final round. Anyone tell me who the gentlemen were? Mr. Rodney?
Rodney Buse.
Rodney Buse. Mr. Derek?
Derek Folds.
Derek Folds. You're very sad, Eggheads. Mr. Roy?
Roy North.
Roy North. There we are. So, you know, all Basil Brush's sidekicks. It means you are through to the final round, Chris, and Tony, you won't be playing there. Would you both please come back and join your teams?